Hello everybody and welcome to today's live at the Waterhole show. What a glorious start here at Nguma in Etosha National Park. Lovely big bull. Oh, having his ablutions this morning. Oh, what a pleasure. My name is Kelly and I'm going to be with you for the next couple of hours. We will be roving around these fantastic cameras, multiple different locations across Africa, and seeing who shows up. We are completely live and completely interactive. We never quite know what is going to turn up on these cameras. Oh, I love the dexterity of watching these elephants shower. Please do engage with us either via WhatsApp. You can get in touch on X at Wild Earth, Facebook, Instagram, or on the YouTube channel at Wild Earth. It's an absolute pleasure to have you all with us today. Please do send in your questions, your comments, your thoughts. It's my favourite part of the show, is hearing from everyone that has joined us. And we did have a little competition going yesterday. Well, it's not a competition, it's just information, and I asked everyone where they were in the world to try and find out who was the furthest away. And I was actually surprised. In my head it was going to be people listening from Australia, but it was not. It was the people in the United States. Oh, God, get that mud up there, big boy. It was the people in the United States of America. Is he going to lay down in this water? Oh, he is loving that. Look, he's actually grabbing mud and putting it on himself. This is a lovely big bull, actually. So yes, people who are listening from the US of A, you are really far away, and my rudimentary maths and checking suggests that it's actually Dark Mainlover, who was watching from Los Angeles, 16,000 kilometers away, which is really, really far. So thank you to everyone that participated, and I think it's fabulous that we have people from all over the place. From Makana in Zimbabwe, Ivan in North Carolina, Sarah UK from the South Coast, Deb D from Pennsylvania. Who else did we have? Robin McLean from Victoria, Australia. Melanistic Marble from Greater London. Beryl from Inverness. Saskia Keith from Aberdeen. Malika Strand from Washington. Leopard Lover from Perth. Morgan from Zimbabwe. Bush Baby from Inverness. And Free Spirit from Philadelphia. I'm sure we have lots of other people with us today, so thank you all for being here. But let's take a moment to enjoy this beautiful elephant bull. Look, he's scooping mud up with his trunk. Oh, you got some weed there. A little bit of plant matter, boy. You gonna put it on your head? Or are you gonna eat it? Let's watch. I was gonna eat it. I found a bit of food, I'll eat that. Let's see if he actually eats it though, because that was very muddy. Are you going to enjoy that? I think he took that back out again. I don't think that was a very enjoyable snack. No. You will often see elephants, if they're feeding, if they do pull up vegetation with mud or things on it, they will remove it. I take great joy from watching elephants pull big chunks of grass up, and then they will bang the bottom of the grass to get that mud off. Are you going to give that a rinse and eat it? They don't want that dirt, that soil. First of all, it doesn't taste very nice, but also secondly, the grit and the substrates in there can. Like he's listening to those wildebeest arrive. He's just deciding if everything is fine. I'm sure he will decide it is fine. The grit and the dust and rocks in that soil will impact their teeth. And elephants only have a finite amount of teeth that are available to them through the course of their life. Their teeth what's the phrase? They acquire different sets of teeth through their lifetime, so they have up to 6 sets of teeth that will come forward as they age, and once those teeth are no longer viable, they can't feed properly, so they want to keep hold of those teeth as long as they can. This boy is doing an excellent job of covering himself in mud there, and he's resting his trunk on that's thick mud. He's resting his trunk on that mud. But let's go across to Camelthorn. I would love to see what is happening today across at our Camelthorn camera. Crocodiles. It looks like they're just... Are they... I think their faces are... Yeah, it must be. I'm just trying to work out why they're different colours, whether it's water or whether or not it is mud. And I'm just wondering, because if you look, their faces are dry, but their backs are not. And I'm wondering why. Oh, I know why. It's because they might have had their heads out of the water, or possibly even there's some mud in there as well. We will often see those snouts that are out of the water, and their backs are normally underneath the top of the water, so they are still drying. It would be actually quite interesting to see if we could remember to come back here, if these guys are still here in 2 hours' time, to see if they've dried out completely. We can observe the drying time of a crocodile. I'm not sure how warm it is there at Camelthorn today, but it's definitely hotting up here in the Lowveld of South Africa. Today is a warm one. But maybe we should try and make a point of coming back here just before the end of the show, if they're still here. And keep an eye on these crocodile drying times. And I think that's a third one in the water there.
This unfolds in front of you.
At Wild Earth, we believe every story has the power to create change. That's why we've launched the Wild Earth Impact Foundation, a non-profit dedicated to conservation and social impact. By showcasing conservation stories, we can change lives, protect nature, and empower communities. We have partnered with Empowers Africa to accept tax-deductible donations from US donors. Your donation will help fund critical programs that support our mission. Join us and be part of the change.
Best sighting I've presented. I found myself with wild dogs. We chased the dogs around, chased them around. They ate an impala. We got the end of that. Then another impala went into Gowrie Dam down the road there, and the wild dogs went around. Eventually the impala came close to the bank. One wild dog went and grabbed it and then just pulled it out and just did what wild dogs do. It was an emotional experience, but it was very, very special.
Greatest wildlife spectacle on planet Earth. We'll see you there. Can you hear that?
wild is calling.
I do enjoy watching these baboons. Oh, and there's some tiny ones there as well. Look at these little tinies being carried by mum. You often see with baboons when they're very small, they will be on the front of mum. It amazes me the grip they have actually. And then as they get a little bit bigger, they will swap over to riding on mum's back. And you can sometimes see them sitting cowboy style. It's very funny to watch. Okay, I got sidetracked watching that elephant, and I forgot to do today's check-in. So thank you everyone for being here. Claire_cat. Hello, Claire_cat. Overcast in London today. I'm not surprised. Welcome, thanks for being here. Mercedes Bean, greetings to Wild Earth crew and chatters. Happy Tuesday to you as well, Mercedes Bean. Evelyn McLaughlin, good morning from Scotland. Hello, Evelyn, thank you for being here. Dark Main Lover, hello, Kellyanne FC. Dark Main Lover, furthest away. You are really far, and they are indeed some big, beautiful crocs we were seeing there at Camelthorne. Marion, good day to you as well, Marion. Thank you for being here, and I'm glad you are getting your daily bush fix. And Catherine is asking, are there crocodiles mating? We saw mating crocodiles at Tau a while ago. I haven't seen those crocodiles at Camelthorne getting involved in any reproductive activities as yet. But you never know. See, how cool is this angle? I actually feel like I'm part of this. I'm part of this whole experience. This little bit of a groom going on. So I believe these are olive baboons. So we have Chacma baboons in this southern area, yellow baboons up at Old Donio, and then olive baboons at Lentores, which is where we are now. And I actually saw a clip yesterday. I always thought that olive baboons were bigger than Chacma baboons, but I actually saw, I think it was maybe Kerry, suggesting that research indicated that the olive baboons were more fur. And actually physical body size, the Chacmas were bigger. But I'll go back and check that. But I do remember seeing olive baboons in Rwanda. Well, I believe they were olive baboons. I didn't actually know about yellow baboons when I went there. And it confused, I'd never seen olive or yellow baboons. I'd only ever known those Southern Africa Chacma baboons before. And they were huge. They looked like big, angry, fluffy German shepherds or something. Interesting that they carry so much. Look at that little one. The natural instinctive grip of these young baboons never ceases. Or that one was just sort of falling off as she walked off then. But they make it work. But I actually feel like I'm part of this family here, having this drink with them. Wildlife Lady. Hooray for some baboons. Lovely to watch them. Wildlife Lady, they're also one of my favourites to watch. Especially in this sort of scenario. They are not anywhere near humans, or there's no interactions. As we know, monkeys and baboons can sometimes become problematic around camps or human habitation. Totally our fault. But this is them just vibing, doing their baboon things, and I love watching them. The social interactions, grooming. They're definitely one of my favourites to watch as well. Amur Adebola. I hope I've pronounced that correctly, Amur. Good morning from Nigeria. Thank you very much for joining us all the way from Nigeria. I've never been to Nigeria. I would love to know about some of the nature there. Thank you so much for being here today. Look how he's gone down on his elbows. Getting a bit closer like that. Folded those arms all the way back. Lovely to see that family having a drink. Let's head across to Oldonio. See who we have got happening there today. My money is on an elephant. Oh, no, nearly. I was wrong. We have some beautiful eland. I laughed yesterday. We had an eland walk across the Tower waterhole yesterday, which confused me immensely. I've never seen that before at Tower, and quite a lot of other people had not seen that either. And he just casually strolled into and out of the camera. And then we went to, I can't remember where we went next, but as we went there, an eland walked in from the right of the screen. And it just tickled me yesterday. But lovely to see these eland. These, oh, we've got some warthogs in there as well. And some of these gorgeous oryx, East African fringe-eared oryx. And as I learnt as a result of... Oh, there's lots of... Is that male showing interest in her? Oh, you'd have to be careful. Raising yourself up in any way, shape or form around those fawns. Yes, I also learned from research, or I was actually corrected, which is perfect. All Gemsbok are oryx, but not all oryx are Gemsbok. I did not know that.
My name is Amy, and today we're going to be doing things a little bit differently.
What does it take to handle the wild? Balance. Determination. Focus.
Yaku!
And gear that can take a beating so you don't have to.
Ria, you say the best kind of roadblock? Absolutely. Look at this.
Hello, girls.
Out here, every wild moment counts, and as a Wild Earth explorer, you will not miss out. Watch the Wild Earth channel ad-free 24/7, and you can even rewind if you have missed out on something. Enjoy the behind-the-scenes video clips as well as fireside chat, or get the early offers on our travel experiences. It's It's the best way to stay connected and be part of the Wild Earth family.
Laps and some of the balls are absolutely enormous. Rob Mack, yes, that it very much yesterday. It was Eland enters stage left. It actually entered stage right. It exited from Tau stage left, and then entered stage right. It tickled me immensely yesterday. Simple minds please easily, I think is the phrase we're looking for there. But I laughed yesterday. And I spoke to a friend of mine who is at Tau. I was at Tau for several years. I never saw eland. I think I saw eland in Medjugorje maybe 2 or 3 times in like 3 or 4 years. And my friend said yesterday they see them maybe once or twice a year at the waterhole. So yeah, I was highly confused. I looked at the eland, and then I looked at that little flaggy and in the top left of your screen there, and it said Tau. And yeah, that was an amazing sighting yesterday. And these eland, when you see the sun on them, they're actually quite sort of gingery, almost orangey in this gorgeous sunlight. You can see those twists in their horns, in their spiral horns. I think they sit in the Tragolafini group with some of your bushbuck. If you compare these horns to a bushbuck's horns, a male bushbuck's horns, or even a male Inyala's horns, you can very much see the similarities. Those kudus, far more impressive. Sorry, that's not very fair, is it? Bigger and different. Let's rather say that wasn't very fair of me. Oh wow, everyone is turning up now. Yeah, oh, let's go over to Tau. I think there might be something happening there. I wonder if it's our eland again. Let's see what have we got happening at Tau. Oh, interesting. We do often see a very relaxed male waterbuck at Tau, but today it seems he's got company, and it's not often. Well, it's occasional, but animals would prefer not to do what those waterbuck were just doing. These males were having a bit of a tussle. Maybe this is the waterbuck that's normally resident here, but this is an excellent spot for waterbuck. He will have his girlies here. He's got good access to water, and he will want to keep this spot for his own. So it could be that other male that's just exited, there was a bit of a kerfuffle over being his spot. I would love to be better at IDing things like antelope, but it's very difficult unless they've got a broken horn or something. It's not like you can use spots like we do with leopards, or even ear raggediness like we do with elephants. But I would love to know if this is indeed the resident male waterbuck here, or if indeed this is the resident. Because these are both adults, they're both sexually mature bulls. But you do often find this time of year there's a little bit more tolerance between individuals that would normally be less tolerant of each other, because at the end of the day, in these dry times, sometimes you just need to share nicely. And lots of animals, so there are animals that will defend a territory, which are technically territorial animals, but lots of other animals also have home ranges, and those home ranges will often include a water point, and some males of some species will almost timeshare a water point It's like, okay, rhinos are known for it, you know, as long as you're not both there at the same time, and as long as you're not, okay, let's watch. See, even that to me, it's a interaction between two sexually mature male water buck. I know it's getting a little bit more shovey now, but it's not like that first male ran in. It almost looks like he's just sort of saying, look, come on, can you go? I'd rather you sort of went. And the other one's saying, I quite like it here, I'm quite keen on staying. And that's how aggressive behaviour in animals does develop. But it often, see, he's not chasing him. He's going to give him another follow. It's like, come on, dude, can you go somewhere else? Even this doesn't look brutally animalistic aggression-y to me. It's just sort of saying, come on, don't make me follow you. It's going to be interesting to see how this pans out though. They're starting to push a little bit harder. They're not actually sort of locking horns, they're just sort of shoving a bit. Oh no, but now it's, you can see that one of them's dropping down lower. See, now it's getting a bit now someone's going, right, come on, this is enough now. But you see, it's obvious. You can see the changes in body posture. Hey! And I think this one at the back here is the one that's been respectfully saying, let's move along, please. I wonder if it's not, see, this is complete speculation. I'm just trying to think that it almost looks to me like the one on the right is the slightly bigger animal, and I wonder if it's not a case of this is maybe a I've told you, off you go. But it could be that maybe it's a son, as is often the case. I'm just rifling back to my waterbuck social structure hierarchy dynamics. It could be a son that was born here, because I know I've been watching waterbuck here at Tower for years, and I'm sure there's a group that sort of lives there. If this is a son that maybe didn't get booted out, but now he's a bit thirsty, and this is some sort of relation. Maybe it's like the 24-year-old male son moving back home again, and the dad's going, come on, go, you've left once, I've told you before. But you can see how bodies are still loose, bodies are
My name is Amy, and today we're going to be doing things a little bit differently.
Impact Foundation is a non-profit that uses the power of wildlife storytelling as a force for good. We create sustainable development projects that showcase conservation stories, empower people, and inspire environmental action. As a registered South African PBO, you can make a tax-deductible donation to the Wild Earth Impact Foundation. To find out more, visit our website.
My full name is Mpho Tikani. I grew up in Soweto. My first animal that I filmed said to dog. Okay, no, it's my first animal that I filmed, I think it was an impala. Best sighting ever, I would say it was actually this year, 2024. But it was this Cedric when we had Mulwati and TP on a warthog kill. I think we have to cut it.
The bush, full of beauty, wonder, and absolute chaos. And now, all that madness has its own show. It's called a Wild Bush Week. The countdown of the most outrageous, heart-stopping, and sometimes downright ridiculous wildlife moments of the week. Lions throwing their weight around. Hyenas gate-crashing the buffet. Leopards doing, well, leopardy things. Each week, it's a fresh reel of safari gold. A mix of drama,
She's just got an impala, everybody.
danger, and a healthy dose of laughter. So, if you fancy a highlight show with bite, and I don't mean just the animals, tune in to a Wild Bush Week. You bring the tea, and we'll bring the tusks, tails, and teeth.
Or a lip lift. I'm watching their ears to see if their ear positionings change. LEPR, you're saying maybe it's a kind of greeting ritual of the water buckballs. It's making me edgy. See, look, again, this smaller animal's given way. So you could have someone's eye out with that. LEPR, you're saying maybe it's a kind of greeting ritual for the water buckballs. It looks a bit hardcore for a greeting ritual, but it could be part of a challenge. It could be it's all communication. It's all communication. It's all discussions. They can't. Oh, hello, heron on the log there, being slightly. Oh, it's a black-headed heron. This guy wants. The one on the left really would prefer it if the one on the right was no longer. I think. But again, they could have someone's eye out with this, and they don't really want that to happen. It's not in anyone's best interest for any injuries to happen. So it's sort of come together, shove, move back, come together, shove, move back. Let me just actually check quickly how it normally works in waterbuck society around takeovers. I do know we often see a big bull at this dam surveying his domain. I'm checking in my behaviour Bible. See, I think that one on the right there is just a little bit of a lip lick there. Still being pushed back, pushed back. Let's see what it says. Get the hint. Like, he's still not happy with him there. Keep walking, buddy. I I love the phrasing in this book. This book says, as long as they grovel on command, a territory owner may permit even adult males to reside on the property. So it looks like what is happening here is this one on the right is not grovelling enough, according to my behaviour book. I think that's beautifully written. As long as they grovel on command, a territory reside on the property. Grovel more, otherwise you won't be allowed to stay, and you're not allowed to stay. Lovely watching that, very, very nice. Sorry, I missed where we are going next because I was waffling along, but we are welcome to go there anyway. We're at Naledi Bush Lodge in the Kruger, and we have a warthogging to the max. If you say warthog to me, this is this and that down on their front knees are the two images that I immediately get in my head. Marula Shortcake, this is a really interesting comment. Thanks for this. You're saying it seems like quite a trade-off to have offspring of male waterbuck then. Quite a trade-off to have offspring for male waterbuck then. Usually you hear about animals having offspring to continue their lineage and pass on their genetics, but if you have a son, he comes back to challenge you and potentially wipe you out. So is having offspring really worth it then? Wouldn't it be better to have zero offspring but survive than to have offspring and potentially be killed over territory? Marula Shortcake, big thinkings there, and valid points. We see it often in the animal kingdom. In theory, things should disperse. That is the natural. That's obviously the best bit of mud there. In the natural world, the natural order of things is your offspring, especially the boys, disappears and goes elsewhere. But I guess it's dependent on resources. I'm sure that young male would rather have a group of his own girlies at a lovely puddle of water somewhere else. But if there are no other puddles of water available, then this is what we see. And unfortunately, that is sometimes the case of when humans have put boundaries around areas. But I would think it's possibly linked to a shortage of lovely big water points at this point, and the son has probably thought, right, that's a really good spot, I'm going to try and have that. But this time it was you would not see that warthog there. Look, there is no way you would see that. There's just that little bit of tusk that might give it away, but if that pig is still, and it's happened to me many times. There was on a route back to one of the lodges I used to work at, if we walked, and we walked back to the lodge, there was I learned the first time, and an enormous warthog shot out from underneath the bush, fortunately away from us. But I did what I called it the Franklin two-step, where if something makes you jump, your feet sort of jiggle a little bit on the floor before you replant them. But he was huge, and it frightened me. And I started taking more notice of that bush, as you would expect. And we no longer walked that route back because that was where that warthog slept. And goodness knows how many times I'd driven past. But warthogs are renowned for popping out of places quite quickly. The classic is, if you're on foot, you never walk in front of holes, because there might be a warthog resting in them. Warthog are fairly late risers, so sometimes we might be down on foot before the warthogs got up, and it's happened with me a few times in vehicles. I've driven past a hole and a warthog has shot out like a champagne cork. You would not want to be in front of that on foot. Spas, you're also saying a very interesting interaction between waterbuck. That was lovely to see, and I'll be interested to see how it develops if we see any more interactions with those two. But yeah, I would love to be able to get IDs on some of these antelopes. We are going to leave this pretty much invisible. If anyone has just joined us, spot the warthog. But we are going to go over to Kohuma for possibly some birding. I have my bird book ready. There we go. Giveaway ear flick. I've got quite fond of these marabou storks. I don't care what anyone says. Sorry, Onguma, not Onkohuma. I was getting confused with lion prides. Onguma. I'm really enjoying these marabous at the moment, but my favourite bird. Actually, anyone that's listening, and I'm not even... Shall I make them African birds? No, I don't think I will. I think wherever you are in the world, you're allowed to have a favourite bird from your area of where you live. So please tell me your favourite birds, and ideally why. I would love to hear. Get in touch and let me know, either via WhatsApp, at Wild Earth on X, on our Facebook, Wild Earth Live, on Instagram, Wild Earth Official, or on the YouTube channel. What is your favourite bird? And it doesn't have to be African. It can be. But tell us your favourite bird and why. My favourite bird is still currently the crested guinea fowl. It's been in the top slot for a good few years now, since I spent some time with them up in the northern Kruger. They would come and scuffle around when in the mornings before we went on drive, and I took great joy from them. I got some beautiful photos of them, and they are still my number one bird. But these marabou storks have recently made an appearance, possibly even in the top 5. And it's been because I feel like I've got a better understanding of their personalities. Look at this. Look at this thing stood on this log just having a think. Catherine, your favourite bird is a bald eagle. Excellent choice. Excellent choice. These eagles are all incredibly majestic. Look at this very red around the back of this marabou stalk. So yeah, my favourite is still those crested guinea fowl. Lady Mel Bethad, your favourite is Corvus corax, the northern raven. I have not seen them playing with the wind. I would love to see that though, but I do know those corvids are incredibly intelligent, like crows. They can solve all sorts of puzzles. I've watched that many times. I can see why your favourite would be the northern raven. I don't know. What's this? Sorry, we will move, but I just want to see if this marabou isn't sitting on a nest here. Or maybe it's just having a sit down. Maybe it's just having a sit down. But I think we will definitely keep an eye on this, because that would be super cool to watch the development of a marabou stork nest. Sorry, we can go across to that other place now. I just wanted to see if this marabou was going to sit on some eggs. Picasso, your favourite bird is the crested barbet. Excellent choice. I'm not even going to try and explain it now. It was those birds that made me... hello elephants at Safari Hook. Some more lovely big boys that were here yesterday. Crested barbets were what is the bird that made me start researching how they make sound for so long. And the complex setup of air sacs in birds' lungs that allow them to fly and breathe and make sound at the same time. Absolutely fascinating. Candy. Hello Candy, thank you for getting in touch. Your favourite bird is your average Joe, the swallow. Nothing. Amazing birds, the swallows. Their migratory routes, the way they build their nests. Absolutely nothing average about the swallow at all, Candy. Excellent choice. David Bilston, UK. Good morning to you too, David Bilston, UK. Your favourite is also the crow, perfect in flight and very intelligent. David Bilston, UK, excellent choice. But yeah, anyone that hasn't seen it before, I strongly recommend you go and have a look in whatever places you choose and have a look at some of these corvids problem solving. It's absolutely fascinating. Very, very intelligent problem solvers. Mary.
Oh, wow.
Some ellies that we're approaching now. light on her as well is absolutely gorgeous.
So we are going to enjoy the rest of this sunset.
Wow, this is absolutely crazy.
And thank you for joining us. For myself and Cam, we will see you next time.
We are here with a male leopard.
Elephants due to maybe minerals. I don't know the answer to that. Actually, I'm going to put that down as homework. I wanted to read about that. Etosha elephant tusks. See, this is what I really enjoy about this couple of hours. Is it gets my brain going, and it makes me think of what I've actually typed. It is Tosh elephant tusks, but I should know what that means. That's my homework so far today. Let's go across to Quan Maratan. I think we might have another elephant across there. Petulia. You love the hornbills. You think they're looking like dinosaurs. I can totally see where you're coming from with that. I've been enjoying. We occasionally get trumpeter hornbills here. They're very, very cool, but another strong shout, Petulia, on the hornbills. I actually, about 6 weeks ago, I was lucky enough to do some behaviour work with some captive southern ground hornbills working on an enrichment programme. I've always been a big fan of southern ground hornbills, so combining my canine behaviour background and linking it back to wildlife enrichment, and I got to spend 2 days with 2 southern ground hornbills. Absolutely fascinating, and by the time we left, they were actually courtship feeding, which we weren't doing when we got there. So I'm also a big fan of the hornbills. Petulia, I do think they're amazing looking birds. Bobby, hello Bobby, thank you for being here. You're super impressed by red-crested coran and the lilac-breasted roller. Those red-crested corans, Bobby, I don't know, how many times have you seen those red-crested corans with their crest up, Bobby? I haven't seen it many times, but you sort of forget why they're called red-crested corans till you see it, and then you go, oh yeah, they're stunning. And that amazing display they do, that I've also never managed to catch a good photo of. Unsurprising. Helga, your favourite bird is always the African fish eagle. Its mysterious call gives you goosebumps. Again, those eagles, very, very special to watch them. And if you look at them closely, Helga, they've got a lot more brown on them than you originally think. My brain always computes fish in a tree. But if you look closely, they've got lots and lots of brown on them. Babsy, you're saying Kwa Maratan, your Platinum Province. In the Pilanesberg National Park. There's quite a lot of grass. Well, not quite a lot of grass, but this looks quite green here, which is interesting. This Ellie has finished doing what he was doing. He's got what he came to do. A nice cooling shower. I've never actually been to the Pilanesberg. Madikwe is quite close by, but I've never been into the Pilanesberg. There's lots of places I've never been that I would really like to go, and the Pilanesberg is definitely one of them. I do definitely think temperatures are hotting up, and we are seeing lots of bathing elephants today. Let's go across to Nguma, see what we've got. More animals having a cool off. Erica, your favourite bird is the southern ground hornbill. It was such an amazing experience to spend time with southern ground hornbills. I love watching them in the Kruger, but it was actually fascinating the work we did to mimic natural behaviours, that walking, and I learned, I didn't actually know, but I only learned sort of a couple of months ago that they are known for carrying food around. And at one point during this enrichment programme, the male was actually carrying 3 different bits of food in his beak and just walking around with it. And I thought, is that an unusual behaviour? And after I did some reading, they are known for it in the wild, which I've never seen. So this is how we learn these things. Absolutely fascinating to spend some time with them and watch them. My mission was to give them a pumpkin with some food inside to see if I could get them to smash that pumpkin like they are known for doing with tortoises. And they didn't quite smash it, but they definitely had a peck for that pumpkin, which was so cool to see. Lovely to have these wildebeest here. Something just gave them a fright by the looks of it. Lots of these prey species can be quite twitchy though, as we know, and for good reason. I would also be very twitchy if I was a wildebeest on any of these reserves. Sarah UK, your favourite bird is a crow that comes to your garden to be fed. That must be a really nice opportunity for you to observe behaviours. You have named him Russell. I think that's a brilliant name for a crow, Sarah UK. I think Russell is a perfect name for a crow. Is it because he sort of goes like rustles his feathers, or is it? It's just a good name. I enjoy animals with human names. It makes me smile. But you must, Sarah, if he's coming to your garden regularly, you must try sort of set not puzzles, but put the bit of fruit under a cup or something. Or there's some amazing things in ether of these Corvids problem solving. It's fascinating. You should make some observations with Russell. It's my passion now is behaviours, observing, understanding, or trying to understand, interpret. And the best bit is you never really know. That's what I've always enjoyed about nature and the bush. You never stop seeing new things or learning new stuff. And it's why I enjoy doing this show, because everyone gets me thinking, gets me homeworking, gets me researching. I think these wildebeest look like they'd come for their drink, and now they're maybe off into the shade. I wonder, it looks quite hot there today. It's almost a mirage. Let's have a look. Okay, yes, this does say it is up around the mid-30s today, so maybe these wildebeest came, had their drink, and are heading back off for some shade again. You do often find at pans or around waterholes that there isn't too much shade. Sometimes elephants will push all the trees around a pan, which leaves it quite open. But there are some nice trees. I know at Serendella there's some lovely coverage around that pan there. We often see some buffalo resting there. We had lions 2 days ago, which made me very happy. Lovely views of some lions. Still believed to be the Avoca Pride. But if there's no cover, it can get quite toasty. So animals need to come and drink and then scoot back off to find some shade again. Oh, Sarah, UK. I'm sorry I'm slow. Russell Crowe after the actor, obviously. Obviously, how did I not see that? I'm sorry. That's made me feel really silly. Our wildebeest have moseyed off to find some shade. Let's go across to Moella and see if we maybe have some zebras across there at the Boteti River at Moella. Russell Crowe, obviously. Russell Crowe, if you're listening, feel free to get in touch and say hi. These zebras are patiently waiting for some rain to arrive, I think. And as you can see, there's not much shade here. Even in the distance there's a couple of sparse trees. I do think that zebra stripes might have some relevance on temperature regulation. There's lots of theories around zebra stripes. They did experiments with horse blankets. It landed on the horses in the stripy blankets less, and they did. Apparently they couldn't work out where to land because of the stripes. Also the disruptive coloration, more difficult for predators to pick out an individual in a group, which I can completely relate to. A couple of days ago an elephant turned up here and these zebra just scattered, and it was just, you can see why it's called a dazzle, put it that way. Makanaka, you love zebras. I do hope I'm saying your name correctly. Oh, we've got a wildebeest on the scene. But yes, you love zebras. They are fascinating and they're very photogenic. Not that I've got a... I'm waiting to see an animal today where I can say, oh, I've got a lovely picture of that. But someone I know very recently took a stunning picture of a zebra silhouette at sunset. That was gorgeous. That was a gorgeous image. But zebras often give you their bottoms for photographic opportunities. That someone should make a book of zebra or bottoms of Africa. I don't know if that's been done, because so often animals just turn and just give you their behind as they leave. But if you can get it right with zebras, they do make for some gorgeous images. I like them to be nice and straight though. They need to line up straight and the stripes need to be nice and straight. I wonder if there is a Bottoms of Africa book. I'd probably buy that. I think that would be brilliant. David Bilston, UK. Thank you for saying that. Your favourite and important bird of yours in my part of the world is the vulture. I fully concur, David Bilson, UK. They are crucial to health of ecosystems here. Let's go to Cat Eye Pan, see if we haven't got any cat's eyes there. But yes, David Bilson, I concur completely. Incredibly valuable to the ecology of an area. They play, look, no cat eyes, but wet elephants. That's lovely. Yeah, there is lots of misunderstandings and misconceptions about vultures. I'm sure everyone watching this will have heard, either via us or other avenues, of the terrible poisonings of vultures that have been happening well, for a long time. But there was 3 huge ones in quite close succession earlier in the year, and it's incredibly sad. Vital roles in ecology, those vultures. Wildlife lady, still loads of zebras around in Zebra Valley. Zebra Valley is indeed still going strong across there at Moella. I'm excited to see what happens when the rain comes and how everyone's dynamics changes. This is gorgeous though. Look at this. Look at those little ones being typical baby animals, rolling around and splashing, and all the adults are sedately at the side doing it in a far more elegant fashion. Those little ones have just got their faces in there. Faces in, bums in. Having an absolute blast. I see. This is my former life rearing its head. I would love to have data on, you know, different times of year, length of time, different species of animals were sort of seen splashing or drinking. Does the splashing or swimming increase with the time of year or levels of rainfall? I think that would be so interesting. I feel like recently we've seen lots of elephants in the water. That's a really good question, Cliffsim1. You're asking, is there a hierarchy on Ellies at the waterhole? Yes, there is. If there is a big bull present, everybody moves out his way. I've seen it many times. If there's an inlet, those big bulls will come in and everyone else will just disperse or give space. I haven't seen it quite so much with breeding herds. Oh, there's another one. I'm going down. Breeding herds seem to be more tolerant of each other, but it's often, you know, it's youngsters or mums or sisters or aunties. That care system is activated. Those caregivers want their little ones to get water. Whether or not, if there was sort of 2 trunks worth, whether or not a female would go in ahead of a calf, possibly. I know lionesses often feed before young cubs, because ultimately if those adults can't care for the youngsters, they don't survive anyway. So yeah, good question, Cliffsim1. I think we've got a swimming crocodile. We will be back here. Huh. Oh, that's nice. You can see that clarity in the water. What birds are they? Are they thick-knees? Look at the clarity of that water there. That water that those Ellies in will not be that clear at the moment. But this is interesting to see. Remember earlier I said they've often got their heads and their snouts out and their bodies in. And I thought that was why the backs were probably still wetter on those crocs. This is a nice demonstration of that. Is there any chance we could quickly have a look and see what those big birds, well, big, not the small birds are? They look like thick-knees, but that's unusual for thick-knees to be standing at the edge of a water like that in the daytime. I think they must be thick-knees, but that's odd behaviour. And a little 3-banded plover there by the looks of it. If that plover wasn't moving, I would think my screen was frozen. Those thick-knees have not moved. I wonder if they haven't... if they're not freezing because the crocodile's there. I don't know, I just don't normally thicken like this near water. But I'm not totally sure that's what they are without zooming in a bit. Interesting. I can't see. It looks like they've got sort of two-toned beaks. Let's see if we can get a... Are they... Maybe there's... Hold on. They are water thickneys. They are water thickneys. How unusual.
My full name is Tikani. Best part of my job is coming to see nature. Worst part of my job is logging. That's the worst thing ever, because you have to log amount of footage. You sit in front of that computer and yeah, you think of deleting the footage, but no, they need the footage. If I went to Camel, probably a soccer player. I know some people don't believe me, but I'm very good, I'm very fast.
Oh, she didn't catch it.
Come on, Tommy. Watch this, we're about to see a kill.
You can see how close he is from where I am. Out here, every moment counts. As a Wild Earth explorer, you won't miss a thing. Watch the Wild Earth channel ad-free 24/7 and rewind if you want to catch something again. Enjoy behind the scenes videos, fireside chats and early access to travel offers. It's the best way to stay connected and be part of the Wild Earth family.
When the water is so clear. I don't think that water is going to be as well, it's quite clear, but I think we are seeing that body outline clearly because we're slightly elevated as well. But a croc this size, this is not a big crocodile. If you looked at it in scale from those thick knees, this isn't a big croc, so I don't think this croc's going to be hunting things that are going to be coming to the water's edge anyway. I think this crocodile is still probably fish catching size. It's not, I don't think he's going to be stealth hunting wildebeest there. So this croc, oh, I'm bad at estimating crocodile size at the best of times, but from an elevated view with historical thick knees for scale, I don't think this croc's bigger than a meter? Maybe a metre? Maybe just a metre? Crocodiles actually spend quite a lot of time, believe it or not, eating. They'll feed on insects and stuff when they're small. It takes a long time for them a very long time to get up to that wildebeest impala size. So I think this croc is probably still on the fish and other things that are in the water. And I do think the angle we've got makes a difference as well. That glare on the water, if you're a bit lower down, it's going to make him not quite as visible, I don't think. Let's go across to Elephant Pan up there in Botswana. Interesting question from Sanjeev Roy. You're asking, are there any nomadic adult female elephants roaming around in game reserves that don't belong to a herd? Sometimes there are, Sanjeev Roy. Not very often, but it does happen. We don't always know why it would happen, but I've heard a couple of incidents of lone females with a calf. I'm just trying to think. No, that wasn't her. I'm sure I've heard, don't quote me on it though, I'm sure I've heard of an incident with a somehow injured female elephant with a calf somewhere. And there was a theory that maybe she was unwelcomed in the herd, but that's very unusual. Don't quote me on it, I'm just sort of digging around of things I may or may not have heard. So Sanjeev Roy, it does sometimes happen, but not very often. But yeah, there's most things can happen, and the more sort of these fabulous cameras are helping us to observe things, and infrared and research teams, we are finding out about more and more things that happen that we didn't know about. I know often on the Africam show where we gather clips, I regularly watch things and go, I've got no idea what's going on there. I've never seen that before. I've never heard of that before, and I've got no idea why that happened. It's not. It's sometimes not very educational because I'm very confused by the situation. But the more we can see and observe, the more we learn and understand. So maybe these things will come to fruition as science develops. But look how this was a real call to action. Right, we're done. Off we go. Whoever is in charge here. Up. Someone blew the whistle at the pool. And they are on to their next mission. Babsy, you're asking, how many eggs do birds always lay? It varies, Babsy. It varies wildly, from 1 all the way up to 20. But I suppose it would depend. Again, it depends. I'm not going to give you a number, Babsy, but there is no set number. It ranges from 1 all the way up to many, depending on the species and resources and the social structure of the bird. Sometimes you'll find some birds, there's lots of eggs in one nest, but they might belong to different females. Yeah, so it varies wildly, Babsy. This is a big group of elephants here, actually. Let's go across to Camelthorne. This big herd of elephants has decided their time here is up. Let's see who we've got across at Camelthorne. Outgoing and incoming. It looks like these ellies have already had a bit of a splash, judging from how wet they are. And also plenty of zebra here. I don't know, maybe they went for a splash in one place and now they're having a drink somewhere else. Again, this... Oh, careful, little Loki. It's a bit sticky there. Look, she's just helping him. Look how those elephants are... They're almost dispersing those zebras like a shoal. See that? See that little one just gave him a flick with his trunk. Don't chase the zebras. Raymond Gordema, you are watching from Southern Lowveld in Zimbabwe. Don't chase the zebras. These little elephants are so naughty. I'm glad you're joining us from Zimbabwe up there. I haven't spent anywhere near as much time in Zimbabwe as I would like to. I spent a brief time in Hwange, very brief, and then a couple of days at Vic Falls, and that's been about the extent of my Zimbabwe forays. But I'm glad you are joining us from there. You are very welcome. This is nice actually seeing this breeding herd here. We often see bulls here, but it's nice that this breeding herd is also getting in for a drink, and I'm sure one of these young elephants is going to bother these zebra again, because that's what elephants do. There we go. I bet that's a boy as well. We often see young bulls terrorising guinea fowl and all sorts of other things. Oh, is this bulls coming in? A zebra are trapped between two funnels of elephants. Oh, someone's got left behind. Did you see how that zebra, as soon as it ran, that elephant started... This is like an African version of border collies and sheep. Oh, wow. I'm going to turn my volume up a bit. I'd turn my volume down a bit because my computer would occasionally ping, which you don't need to hear. But, oh, drama. But did you notice how that elephant was showing a bit of interest in that zebra, but not necessarily chasing it? And then as soon as the zebra ran, that little elephant was, right, I'm coming for you. That chase instinct in animals is very strong. In dogs, it's a very strong part of the predatory motor pattern, which is basically...
Let's go and take a look. See you out there.
Even a hyena coming into the action as well now. Oh my word! She's stalking the hyena now. Leopard, hyena, lion, all together in one shot. Oh! Whoa. This is action-packed.
My name is Takudzwa Panda Msesani. My scariest moment is when it happened twice. The other time I was with Cedric and the other time I was with Steve. And all those times, it was a black mamba.
My favorite meal in camp is gonna be burger and chips.
Join our expert guides at dawn for a live, immersive safari as the bush comes to life.
Found ourselves a chameleon, and look how he's changed color.
Every sunrise brings new discoveries.
Pound for pound, a leopard is one of the strongest cats around.
Ask questions, share your thoughts, and connect with nature, live and in real time.
Great excitement, great happiness.
Start your day with adventure.
For whatever reason, the play drive or the play instinct of those youngsters might be lessened a bit if they were under some pressure, because it's very difficult for animals to be stressed and play at the same time, or to be frightened and play at the same time. It's different parts of the brain that sort of activate or deactivate. So whether or not they would be in the right frame of mind to play would be the question I'd be more likely to ask the cat father. But I wouldn't discount it. So yeah, my rationale would be they might not, because of environmental stressors of being pushed together with other herds, but I don't think it would be a case of I'm not playing with you because I don't know you. That play instinct overpowers, it often overpowers other processes or thought patterns. Zebras were indeed confusing the elephants with their noises. Yeah, that was a lovely interaction we had there with those elephants and zebra. And some nice. Is that a young? That looks like a little monkey that's. Is that a little monkey that's completely conked out, or a log? So if you look at the screen, there's one sitting up with his right arm out, and then there's another one that the other one actually looks like he's sitting with his back against something, and then it looks like another one in the middle that's like conked out to the right. But that is, yes, it was. That was a little one conked out. But is that one just to the left of that individual, like sitting on his bum like a human would? Ha! Lovely chilling monkey scene here. All in the shade having an afternoon snooze. Let's see what's happening across at King's Camp. That lovely hide they've now got across it. Oh, wow! That's awesome. Hello. How unusual to see more jaws, paws and claws on these daytime cameras. There we go. Not particularly unusual to see a hyena in a puddle though. Karen, you're saying hyenas are gorgeous as well as one of your favourites. They are, again, very important. All animals are important. Everything has a role, whether or not we know what it is. So this is lovely to see, and it's quite common to see in a pan or a dam or in some water. I would guess. Look, is that a terrapin? Oh yeah, I think is that a terrapin bobbing along like just behind her? Be careful of getting nibbled in there, hyena. I'm gonna... Look, she's watching it. I'm gonna guess that this is a female. I'm terrible at sexing hyenas. But it's quite a big animal, quite a strong jaw, round face. Might be... Well, it might look quite naked on the face because it's wet. But this to me looks like it might be a big mature female. See this, I can identify this hyena. There's that little very clear notch in that right ear closest to us. I'm not so sure now though, that doesn't look quite such a big an animal as it did before. Anyway, this is definitely a hyena.
See you out on the safari.
It could be a very exciting morning.
At Wild Earth, we believe every story has the power to create change. That's why we've launched the Wild Earth Impact Foundation, a non-profit dedicated to conservation and social impact. By showcasing conservation stories, we can change lives, protect nature, and empower communities. We have partnered with Empowers Africa to accept tax-deductible donations from US donors. Your donation will help fund critical programs that support our mission. Join us and be part of the change.
The bush, full of beauty, wonder, and absolute chaos. And now, all that madness has its own show. It's called a Wild Bush Week. The countdown of the most outrageous, heart-stopping, and sometimes downright ridiculous wildlife moments of the week. Lions throwing their weight around. Hyenas gate-crashing the buffet. Leopards doing, well, leopardy things. Each week, it's a fresh reel of safari gold, a mix of drama,
She's just got an impala, everybody.
danger, and a healthy dose of laughter. So, if you fancy a highlight show with bite, and I don't mean just the animals, tune in to a Wild Bush Week. You bring the tea, and we'll bring the tusks, tails, and teeth.
And this is exactly why this hyena is in this delightful puddle, to help to regulate its temperature. And again, that is amazing camouflage there. I think I would probably pick up on that outline of those ears and that face if it was head up, but head down, like that posterior end blends in beautifully with that log and that rock there. Wildlife lady, I agree. This is absolutely fantastic to see a hyena for so long and so close. Very, very nice sighting. And this is a great way to spend a day. I think let's give it another couple of minutes. I just want to see if this hyena does settle here. But so nice to have such a close-up of this. But it's quite common. People often are surprised about seeing hyenas in water. But it's quite a common thing that they will do to regulate temperatures. But not completely relaxed, still keeping an eye on things over the shoulder. And I think it was probably looking at possibly looking at those terrapins that were floating around, because no one would want a nibble from a terrapin. But let's go, I do want to go across to the Masai Mara and have a look at those weavers, because I've got my Big Bird book present today. Whether or not I'll be able to tell you exactly what those weavers are. They are one of the mast weavers, but I'm going to have a quick scan and see how many other... See, these look like they've got more gold on the top of their heads to me. Right, and that's a red eye. It's a red eye, but it almost looks like their head... Look at that, look. And these are the males displaying here on the underside of their nests. Let's have it. Wow, that's a lot of weavers. Okay, let's try. Page 670. I want to see if I can't see one of these yellow weavers with a bit more sort of gold around that cap. Wow, I'm still turning the pages of the weavers. There's like 8 pages of yellow weavers in here, but let's try. Did you see this? If anyone would agree with me, oh, he's gone in now. The bird on the right hand side, it looks like they've got dark and then almost a orangey rim. Hippos are disagreeing. But maybe I'm imagining it. See, what's that? See, northern mast weavers have got them. If the zoomies are saying these are lesser mast weavers, I'm not. I might just go with that because it will be easier. But lesser mast weavers have got that white eye, and there is obviously no eyes visible now. I just want to give me 1 second here. I want to try and just see the eye colour. I'm such a geek. Sorry everyone. I don't normally get a chance to bird in the Masai Mara. Village. Is it a village? I want to see an eye colour. Look, he's brought some grass back. If they've got light eyes, I'm happy to concur that they are lesser mast weavers, because one of the diagnostic features of the lesser mast is those very pale eyes. So, if they've got red eyes, there's something else. Northern mast weaver. What's that? See, a northern mast weaver. Oh, that's got a black eye. Endemic to northeast Africa. Breeding male has a diffuse black mask with forecrown merging through chestnut. I feel like I can see chestnut. I'm gonna take a quick photo with this, and I will do this in my own time and establish exactly which weavers these are. But give me 1 second. Or even better, if FC could send me a screenshot of this bird hanging upside down, that would probably be considerably clearer. But let's go across. I'm not sure if our kingfisher is still present where it was earlier. I would love to have a look at that kingfisher. But I'm turning into a little bit of a bird geek, and I don't normally get a chance to identify birds in the Masai Mara because I've never been there. So this is my only opportunity for now. Oh, lovely. We will happily enjoy this rather nice cormorant. Karen, you're saying it amazes you how hyenas give birth. It is quite an intense process. The reproductive science and organs around hyena are absolutely fascinating. I have had many discussions on these topics with many people, and we have done drawings and we have done research and we have used whiteboards and we have drawn pictures in the sand. It's complicated. Hashtag it's complicated. But amazing how nature finds a way, hey? Hello, Ceci. Thank you very much for joining us today, Ceci. Ceci Mukwanzi from Villiers in the Free State. You're saying you are always in Marlow Park. Your question is, which is a good time of year for game drives because you've never seen a cheetah? Firstly, I don't know if you mean in the greater Kruger. I'm assuming you mean in the greater Kruger because I'm not sure if there are cheetahs in Marlow Park. But I'm guessing you mean inside the Kruger National Park. My favourite year for game drives is either September or April. It's very specific, but I think September, October is a lovely time of year. If the rainy season hasn't started, or any time during the winter, to be honest, Ceci, the vegetation isn't as thick, so you have a better chance of seeing animals because they can't hide as easily. But there's especially with cheetah, one of your best chances of seeing cheetah is normally a standard. Find open areas. So if you're in a region with lots of forest or lots of thick vegetation, you're probably not going to see a cheetah. So if you find out where there's nice plains areas, think about what cheetah often hunt. They'll often hunt impala, or depending on where you are, I'm assuming in South Africa, think about what they're eating, think about when they're moving. So my best tip would be anytime in the winter, up through as far as probably November-ish when the rain starts, Ceci. So good luck with finding your cheetah. Let's go across to founders. We're going to leave this cormorant gula fluttering to try and stay cool here. I believe a reed cormorant. These are our founders' chicks. Right, are we going to start counting them? There was 4 yesterday and there's 4 today, so they've had a good night. They are very cute. Quick, quick, quick. Keep up with Mum and Dad.
What does it take to handle the wild? Balance. Determination. Focus.
Yaku!
And gear that can take a beating so you don't have to.
My name is Takudzwa Panda Msesani. I really want to film an art fork, and it has been my goal. I'll be just keeping my eyes open. The worst driver is Jem. He's driving, yeah. You gotta be holding on back in there, like in bumps, and I mean, it happens when these things happens when you're actually going for animals usually. But then, yeah, he's driving, yeah. You gotta put your seatbelt.
And that's it for this morning's drive.
She's just got an impala, everybody.
And we're going to be heading out and seeing what animals we can find.
Safari, wine, and waterfalls. The ultimate African adventure. Sip South Africa's finest wines. Experience a world-class safari among Africa's iconic wildlife. And stand in front of Victoria Falls, one of the natural wonders of the world. All this can be yours with Wild Earth Travel, where Africa comes alive.
There's a baby under here. Sorry, zoomies, I was not paying attention. There's babies under here. Because lapwings don't have 4 legs. Or there's... I'm assuming it's... Yes! Sorry, zoomies, I did not notice that. I apologise. Great work. Unless it's a new species of 4-legged lapwing. This bird has babies under there, at least one. Yes, I can see those extra legs now. Yay! Oh, well done, zoomies. Thank you. I'm sorry I didn't notice that before. My brain didn't compute that lapwings don't have 4 legs. That is lovely. So here at Founders, we've got all the baby birds. We've got 4 little goslings and 2 little baby lapwings. I think that's also baby legs. Look, that's the parents' legs bending at the back there. See, my brain didn't compute that that's not where lapwings' legs would come out. That's embarrassing. But yeah, you see that at the back there, those black sticks at the back, and then they will be sort of squatted on its haunches, elbows, back, bendy knees, however you want to phrase it. And then those little sticks at the front there are belonging to those babies. That's very, very cute. Wildlife Lady, you enjoyed today's show. I'm really glad you enjoyed it. Thank you for joining us, Wildlife Lady. And I agree, thank you to FC. They do amazing work. All the zoomies for these incredible images. It's definitely a team effort to bring you this couple of hours of bouncing around these cameras. I think these little, they're called runners. That's why these little babies are referred to as runners. They are super quick. Are you going to get upset now? Or are you just going to have a break? Let's see how this bird's going to respond to there being no babies under there. I thought it was odd that this lapwing was sat up on this rock here. Again, possibly a risky... that's why they're called runners. Possibly a risky position to be in, but I guess they know what they're doing. Maybe it's safer up here than at the water's edge. I remember spending several weeks watching baby lapwings getting increasingly close to the edge of water where there was terrapins showing huge interest in said lapwings. LEPR, lovely lap chicks. They are, hey, they're very, very cute. Sarah UK, I'm going to be embarrassed in front of you forevermore now for not getting Russell Crowe. I'm going to wake up remembering how embarrassing that was for many, many months to come. So thank you for that, Sarah UK. But I'm glad you enjoyed the show. Thank you for your participation. And you are also saying thank you to FC and the Zoomies. I agree. That is a very, very cute little baby there. But be careful at that water's edge. Take care, little one. I think I'd love to go across and finish up with our snoozy hyena across at King's Camp in that fabulous hide they've got there. And we will keep a close eye on these little lap chicks as they hopefully progress. Such a treat to be able to... I was going to say such a treat to be able to watch these hyena, but let's see what made this hyena get up so rapidly. I can hear splushing. That is what made that hyena get up so quickly. And that hyena has made a swift exit. And look, this mummy elephant's a bit upset here. I think she's probably chased this hyena. But did you see that chin up? But that hyena got out of there quickly. And it almost looks like this is the big girl, and maybe is this a female? Actually, I'm not sure. This is the big elephant that maybe came in to have a look and check that everything was safe, and that hyena hot-footed it out of there. And this is a huge group of elephants that have just turned up just in time for the end of today's Live at the Waterhole show. What an absolute pleasure to join this beautiful family having their afternoon drink. And they're thirsty. It is quite warm around here though today, so I'm sure that's why these elephants made a hot entry to this waterhole. Thank you everyone for being here this afternoon. David, Bilston, UK, I'm glad you are enjoying the programme. Educational and unique. It is indeed very unique. It is proven repeatedly that we are completely live and interactive, and what a pleasure to be able to be joined from so many people around the globe. Let's just finish up today's show with the sounds of these elephants having a good slurp. It's been an absolute blast. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you all for being here, and I hope to talk to you again soon. Enjoy these elephants.
Mm.